Gift the garage back, doing some more C10 stuff. It's windy as hell out today. Last time we were working on this, I shortened the frame and got the cab mounted on the frame, kinda sorta where I want it, and then took a trip with this thing out to New York. And while I was there, I picked up a whole front clip for a C60, which I wanted because it has flared fenders, because that's wider than a C10 chassis. So now I need to decide, you know, if I'm using the whole inner fenders, the whole inner will fit. Like to at least use the outer to mount the fender, and that bolts to the firewall, and it's got the hood latch and everything. So I went ahead and already mounted one of the outer fenders. And you can tell this radiator support is too far forward for everything to fit. So I gotta cut the frame off way back there and ditch this radiator support to even try to start fitting that. So let's cut some crap up. So all the headlight wiring and stuff I don't care about, but training lines, power steering cooler lines, radiator hose, all kinds of nonsense has to come off. You got a windshield washer tank. The PCM is mounted to the core support. Great. That thing bit me like 10 ways to Sunday. Oh, it's windy. All right. So I'd like to use this radiator and the coolers, all that stuff if I can. So I don't think I'm gonna have enough room to move it back. Maybe if I delete the fan. But now you can see I gotta cut probably back to here, because I know that radiator support is at least that wide. Yeah, somewhere in this area that's got to get cut. And I know those inner fenders are never gonna fit unless I move all this stuff, because they come down and, well, I guess that's the line. Maybe if I can just bungee this stuff up out of the way, I can see if it'll fit up on there. And whoever replaced the brake lines on this chassis, they used the nice copper lines, but it's not supposed to run around the front. And they're an absolute mess. Like up over the gas tank, and I mean, I would have done the same thing laying under the truck with a cab on it. So I know the frame's gonna be in the way, but find friends. I mean, if I was smart, I would just unbolt the inner fenders and then try and bolt on the inner fenders. Wouldn't I? Never said I was smart. So I'm pretty sure the C50, C60 inner fenders are different than the C10 fenders, because I'm about 6 inches high on that hole, but that one lines up, which means I gotta go way lower. So I gotta cut most of this off, I guess. Wait a minute. Driver's side. Let's see how this one fits. So the C10 fender is all beat up. And it's got 1, 2, 3 holes to that bracket straight. This has a whole jog. 1, 2, 3 holes and another jog before that. So this is not gonna bolt to that. So I'm gonna have to use this one and cut it to get these 2 bolt holes on that bracket, which sucks because the C10 fender will bolt right on without modifying it. It just won't bolt to that. So basically I just messed myself up by trying to use a C60 front end, where it looks like a C10 front end would have just fit. Yep. So from the firewall to the core support is about 35 inches. Which means I gotta cut the frame about right there, which is just in front of the steering box. Because we're gonna make it work. We're just gonna eyeball guess what to do with this. Not a bad eyeball. So I guess on a C60 cab, the steering column comes in lower, because on a C10 it comes in above the fender. I don't know. We're just making stuff work. Cut this side to fit. Maybe. Something like that. I'm gonna have to trim that more to get this down, because that should be level with the body line, but it's pointing up. But I was trying to leave that bracket just right around there. So now, is the nose low enough for this to line up straight with the cab? Actually isn't bad. It is a little high in the front. You can tell by the door gap. I mean, that door is bent, but it's worse on this side. So that definitely has to come down. Let's throw the hood on. Get a look at this thing. Not bad for like an hour and a half's worth of work. Still got to figure out how to mount the core support. That's a C60 nose on a C10 on a Silverado SS chassis. Whew. Yeah. I like the 60 nose because the grill is lower. The The bumper, if I get one on there, the whole valance area is lower, and it's got the flares, and the grill is different. And the whole area is much taller as far as that opening. .35 drop kit on that chassis, some different wheels. We'll be good. Getting there. Threw the bedside back up, just temporary. Gotta get the nose down a little bit. Not a ton. And this whole mount, maybe I can cut up higher and then plate back to this cross member, some sort of bracket, because if I lower the truck, that's gonna be ground clearance issue. And I should still have room for like a C10 radiator. I've had good luck with just the bolt-in aluminum C10 and that LS swap, and that's actually the same radiator I have in the Dart. It keeps it cool enough. I'm gonna need to clearance that for the steering shaft and make some mounts for this whole front end, but otherwise I think we're looking pretty good. Yeah, I just gotta probably get the front down another ½ inch or so to close up that gap. This side's worse. Just another day in paradise. It's been raining for a couple days, so I gotta get back on this and fix the gaps, get the front end lower, make some brackets, and get it mounted. So heavy. Now that I got these notched so that's low enough for the body line to line up, and then make sure this gets centered, and just do some kind of bracket to mount to the inner fenders. I don't know. So I got the front end held up to where that looks nice and level. This gap still isn't great, but this fender's all messed up and it's cut and it's got a lot of tension on it, so it's fine until I can get that bottom bolt in. So this giant chunk of steel I have is way overkill, but I think if I cut sections the width of that frame rail and leave the L sticking out, it'll reach to the underside of this. If I cut all this off at this height, basically I want to get all the the rough fab and mounting brackets and everything all on the frame done, so I can blow it back apart, strip the chassis, finish welding it, and then clear some space in here for it, because it's getting cold out and the days are getting short where I only have like an hour and a half when I get home from work to do stuff. And my ADHD is not kind to me. You can tell I got like, oh, this project, that project, gotta do this, gotta do that. Oh, over here now, over here. And there's no order in here. Way overkill, but got 2 brackets to cap the end of those frame rails. And now it's dark. So basically, I'm thinking that on there and do something there. Another day, just got home from work. Got about an hour and a half till it gets dark. So I'm pretty sure I got all my body mounts figured out and tacked to the frame. So now I want to get the cab back off the frame, get the frame inside, so I can start finish welding and brake lines and wiring and all the other stuff I hacked up. Because it'll be easier to do it in here with light, as opposed to having like an hour each afternoon to do it. So speaking of that, see if I can get this blown apart in the next hour and in the shop. Just like that, my complete looking truck is blown apart into pieces. Should probably clean the frame outside before I make a ton of dust inside. Probably should, but will I? I messed up. I want it engine first.
One eternity later.
Just in time for it to start getting dark. All right. First thing I gotta do in here is yank these wheels because I found someone on Marketplace that wants to trade for some stock-ish wheels for his like 20 by 12s, I think they are. They're terrible. And they got some like 33s on them I gotta throw in the garbage, but straight trade, I don't care. We'll give them a shot. These tires are garbage. I just did a straight trade for these. You ready? Ugly. Is that the ugliest thing you've ever seen or what? Maybe if we paint them black. Nope. I doubt it. So even though I just did all this so I could keep working after dark, I'm tired. So we're gonna pick this up tomorrow. So now that I have my beautiful specimen of a chassis in here, I'm just cleaning it up, like snipping all these brake lines because we don't want that. We don't want a bunch of this stuff. So now I can take this and set it aside. And this already got rusty from sitting outside for a week. Just gotta clean that all up. Finish all my welding. Strip it. Coat it. Which I usually don't even care. I would just slap it together, but we're taking some extra steps with this one, I guess. Pretty much I'm just gonna go to town until I run out of wire. I got these cab mounts kind of crudely welded on. I'm not a fabricator and I got flux core junk. So it's fine. I do have this pretty decent chunk of steel just for a little added strength. I'm gonna cut a couple like 10-inch pieces and just stitch it across right there. So it'll get strength in this joint and strength I think it'll just be better. But what do I know? One ugly flux core fish plate. Now to do another. And of course I ran out of wire doing this side and had to go to the old Harbor Freight. Only the best. So that's decent. This underside would not weld properly. Not that any of this is proper, but it just warped all the metal right there. And like the weld was just beating off the metal. You can see it was just oozing and got all warped. I don't get it. If there's like some coating on the backside that like the metal wasn't heating up enough, or it's just oil saturated, or I don't know. I don't care. I think that's sufficient for what I'm doing. You gotta realize that this is a junk 2000s frame, and I'm not getting crazy because stuff like this I don't really plan to fix. So it is what it is. And then I gotta mount these on the front here. Up. I didn't really measure this part out great. I just figured I'd weld these on and figure it out on the front clip when I put it together. And someone was saying that since I cut this front cross member off, that this isn't enough, that these frame rails are gonna fold in. I don't know how much I believe that. And if I just put solid motor mounts in it, the motor mounts will hold it straight, right? I might have to add something across here, but we'll see. Take my chances for now. So let's knock this thing clean, I guess. We're gonna coat it with something. Prepped. I should probably fix that, but this thing's not going to SEMA. I just like to build stuff I can drive and have fun. Like, I'm surprised I'm even cleaning the frame. It's weird. So my frame paint won't be here till tomorrow. Gonna figure out some of this mess. Like these ABS sensors. Don't need them. Pretty much this whole wire group here, out to the back, gone. I mean, technically I need the wires to the fuel pump, but I'll just run new ones. I'm gonna ditch this whole thing. I get it, but I don't get it. People doing body swaps, like, you know, you keep the steering column and the firewall and the gauges and the whole chassis harness. But I don't have any of that stuff. So I'm just gonna run it like it's a bare chassis, and I'm putting a swap in it and just make a swap harness out of this harness. So yeah, I don't want any of that crap. So basically, if I bought this motor combo as a swap, with the wiring and the PCM and everything, I would have this. None of this. So yeah, is it a nice fuse block with relays and stuff? I suppose. Am I gonna use any of it? No, because I don't want the ABS and the traction control and any of the other wiring involved. From there back. I mean, half of this I don't even need. But all you gotta do is take all these pink wires to a key on switch, take the 2 orange wires, put them right to the battery for a PCM constant. And then one of these is the trigger, key on, you hook to a relay that fires up the fuel pump. And that's it. I mean, there's more stuff in here you gotta hook up, but to get it to run, that's it. I mean, you're gonna have a brake sensor switch for the torque converter, lock up. You're gonna have a feed for a check engine light. You're gonna have a feed for an OBD2 port. But essentially, I twist all the pinks and the oranges to a battery, add a fuel pump, and it runs. Allegedly, because I don't know what is all eaten up in this. So it's the next day. And I've stripped the frame about as much as I really want to. And my box showed up today with just the cheapest rust converter stuff that I could find on Amazon. This is much greater lengths I'm going to here than I usually do. But I like this one. Comes with a little brush. That's cool. Not gonna read the directions or nothing. We're just gonna start coating the hell everything and hope for the best. What kind of lid is this? All right. And I bought 3 of these quarts. And we'll see how far that gets us. I don't know how toxic this stuff is. Should maybe be wearing gloves. But like I said, we didn't read the directions. I should have swept and blown off the floor before I started and kicked up all that dust, because now I gotta roll around in it. This isn't any fun. First of all, this isn't the same as the stuff I thought it was. It's not a rust converter. The crap I've used before. It goes on looking like Elmer's glue. It's like white, and then it turns black when it converts the rust. Yeah, this isn't that. This is really just paint. And with that being the case, I should have just painted the frame with spray paint instead of this little brush. But we're getting it done. We're committed now.
1 hour later.
Now that it's basically dark out, it's about all I'm gonna do. I bought 3 of those. I did the whole frame with 1. I only did 1 coat, but that's all I'm gonna do. And each one of those quarts was, I don't know, $29 or something like that. So I got 2 extras now for something else. But I didn't get crazy under the engine and the cross member and everything. Everything else is pretty well good. But I didn't get crazy getting in under there because I have plans for this LQ9. I got some 823 rectangle ports off of a 6.2 and the chopstick. Obviously there's some more stuff that goes with that, but I think we're gonna tackle that next video, and we're gonna cut this one off here because I want to do all the engine stuff now while it's in here and accessible. And that's going to be quite a bit to go through, so make sure you stick around for the next video. See all that. We'll hopefully get it running. But for now, thanks for watching Gifted Garage, where GIF did all that. See ya. Yeah, we're gonna skip that last part. Doing that stuff. Been thinking about it all day. We're gonna get it running as is. Because I'm impatient and I want to drive it like as soon as possible. And to do this, I need head gaskets and springs and lifters and probably head bolts and like $1,000 torque converter and a tune. And that's not in the budget right now. And if I waited to do all that stuff, this would take months. And also I gotta get this thing ready for a trip to Florida in like 3 weeks. So there's too much going on. And I want this project to keep moving forward, so we're gonna get it running as is. And the stock LQ9 should do just fine for a while. And these parts aren't going anywhere. And I can drive this while I acquire the rest of the stuff. So yeah, that's the plan. But again, thanks for watching. See ya.